Okay, okay. First off, I want to say sorry for such a long hiatus. Oh gosh, it's almost been a year. Wow, what happened? Life, college, life. But don't worry, I haven't given up on this. Uh, for a second, it was definitely put in a pause, kind of a put on the back burner, but I'm back, still working on it. Don't worry about it. So anyway, today I just have a kind of a big update. I've changed some of the mechanics of the game, some of the ways the game runs. I'm going back and changing different card effects to kind of help with the new mechanics and make everything run smoothly, because I did make 2 full decks and started playtesting them with one of my friends, and the game just got really clunky. So I've kind of, polished it, fine-tuned it. Obviously there's still more polishing and fine-tuning to go, but I think I've definitely got on the right track to making it to the full potential the game had and still has. So I'm going to go over some of the new card effects and stuff and some of the new mechanics. So the game mat's also changed. I haven't had time to actually make it like a little template of it, but this is the basic SketchUp. The deck is still going to be in this upper corner. Obviously my artistic ability isn't that great, so it's kind of shifted over here, but it's still going to be up over there. Scrapyard's still here. Basically all of this is the same. The only thing that's really changed is the tool position and the workbench itself. The workbench is gone. It's completely gone. Now we have blueprint zones. 3 of them to be exact. Another problem I had with the game was that having only one sort of area to build the inventions caused a huge traffic jam and made the game really slow. So now we don't have 1, we have 3. And also alongside, next to each of the blueprint zones is different part zones. So that's where the parts will go that are attached to the invention that you're building underneath that blueprint. And that's really the only thing that's changed is these here. Tool cards. I don't have the a printout of the new Scott's Wrench tool card, but you'll see it in like a few minutes after I'm done here, because I'm going to switch over to the computer to show you some of the new effects and stuff. But basically tool cards, you're going to have them at the start of the game. You're going to have one in each deck, and what's going to happen is you're going to put them face down in the zone, and then when the game starts, you and your opponent will both flip them over, and that's kind of going to be an indicator of what you guys are playing, and you will always have the effect of that tool card there ready to go. Nothing can get rid of the tool cards, at least not now. I'm not sure what I'll do in the future. Maybe I'll do something mean, maybe I won't. Keep you guessing. Anyway, so tool cards are going to be a major role in the game now. They're going to help you and make each archetype really unique, such as Scrap, Scott's Wrench. Scott's Wrench really helps the Scrapbot archetype, but it also really helps the Scrap archetype too. So it's not just for Scrapbots, it can help the whole archetype, not just sub-archetypes. And so we'll get to that. Hey guys, Brian here with Adventures League. So this is some of the changes I've made to the game to speed up the gameplay and not make it so cloggy. One of the things I've really tried to amp up is the tool cards. There'll be a separate chunk of this video explaining what's completely different about them, but this is Scott's Wrench. This was the old effect and the old text, and you can tell because it even has the old cost that's no longer in the game. And it really was just focused on helping the Scrapbot archetype. It wasn't focused on helping anything but Scrapbots. And I kind of needed to get out of that mindset of things just need to help their sub-archetypes. Things need to be effective for the whole archetype, in this case being just Scrap-type inventions in general. So this is the new effect of it, which is once per turn you can use an invention from your scrapyard as a part for a scrap type invention in one of your blueprint zones. When an invention that was attached to another invention is sent to the scrapyard, it is removed from the game instead. So basically, if you have, if you need more parts to build an invention and you haven't used this effect yet, this turn you can use it, and it brings an invention that's dead, it's in the scrapyard, back from the scrapyard, and it attaches it to an invention you're building, and that counts as one of the part requirements for that invention. However, when the invention it's attached to dies, the attachment doesn't go to the graveyard, instead, or graveyard, scrapyard, it's removed from the game. Which, yeah, that's really helpful, but at the same time, you're going to want some cards in your scrapyard to stay in your scrapyard, so you can use them for other cards like Scrap Medic Bot when we get to that, which should be next. So this was the old Scrapbot Medic. Again, this is really one of the things that only helped scrap bots, and I need to get away from that mindset, especially with the new game mechanics. This needs to really help the whole archetype, not just the sub archetype. Now, scrap bots still have support cards for their specific sub archetype of scrap bot, such as the Scrap Warrior scrap bot, which still only gets a buff from other scrap bots, and the Scrap Bot version 2 upgrade, which we'll be covering after this card. So let's go to the new version, which is here. Obviously the turn's been removed and the cost, and this wording no longer is startup, it's now boot up. The new effect is you can choose one scrap type invention from your scrapyard with a part number of 2 or less, and put it into one of your rack zones. So basically, if you have something like a scrap bot whose number down here is 2 or less, this is 1, so you could do it with this. If it's in the scrapyard, so it's dead, you can basically revive it and bring it back to play, which can help for certain things. And this is more scrap oriented in general because it's for a scrap type. It's no longer just scrap bots. So this is something you're going to want in almost every single one of your scrap decks. And Scrap Bot version 2, this was the old text. One of the things that I really struggled with upgrades is making them balanced, and the way I kind of had it before is I put a ridiculous number of parts, which was 7, and once you finally accumulate that many parts, you have to wait 3 turns, and so you're sitting there just sitting on this thing doing nothing. And this is what I mean by the game getting really, really cloggy. And so to fix that, what I've done is the stats have stayed generally the same. The effect now is though it only gains plus 50 shield and plus 50 attack for each scrap bot attached to it as a part. Once per turn, you can give a scrap bot invention you control either plus 100 attack or plus 100 shield. Now, the cost of it is only 3. However, 2 of the parts have to be scrap bot. It has to be one of these scrap bot cards, so scrap bot medic or scrap bot himself, some other scrap bot. Now, the only way you can do that is if it's dead and use Scott's wrench to bring it back and attach it. And since you have Scott's wrench at the beginning of the game, it's not really that big of a deal, especially if you have other scrap bots in there. This is when it becomes more of a sub-archetype thing, where Scott's wrench can really help the scrap bots, but it can also just help scrap decks in general. But it's almost essential to get the scrap bot upgrade out into the arena. So that's kind of how I balanced that out. Now, one of the phrasings I need to do on Scrap Bot Medic is change it from just saying invention to invention, accept, and upgrade. Because, yeah, I either need to do that or I need to change the wording on. In fact, I'm going to change the wording because upgrade cards do not count as inventions, and inventions don't count as upgrades, and vice versa. So this is the old dismantled card, which was that you would just pay 200 of your funds to destroy an invention flat out. Now remember, inventions don't count as upgrades, so if someone had the Scrap Bot upgrade, this big menacing card with 900 attack and 70 shield, you could not destroy it with this. it wouldn't do it. It would just destroy something like, Scrapbot or Scrapbot Medic or something. Something less menacing, which is why the cost was so low. It was a fairly balanced card, but not with the new mechanics. So now, what you can do is send all your bots, there's a typo, all bots in your arena zones to the scrapyard, destroy one of your opponent's inventions. You cannot attack the turn you use this card. So this is, if I need to change it to say you can destroy one of your opponent's inventions and or upgrade cards that they have. So if someone has like this big beater on the field and you just cannot get over it, you can just sack everything you have in their arena and destroy it. And then because you still have things in your bench, you can move them to the arena, you just can't attack with them that turn. So it's kind of like a nice lifesaver. I think it's fairly balanced. I probably should put that it requires a minimum of one card in their arena. But yeah, so that's the new dismantle card. Okay guys, so that's it from me today. I know I kept you guys waiting a long time for sort of another update. I'm really sorry about that, but I'm back. I'm not going to let it happen again, I promise. I'm going to keep working on this because this is something that I find really fun to do. It's something that I enjoy doing, and this was an idea that I had a long time ago that people still show interest in, and it's great. It's fantastic. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better audience. So that's it for me today. You can plan on finding the next update probably within the next couple weeks, maybe a couple days. I don't want to say that, but maybe. It depends how things go. So yeah, until next time, thanks for watching.